hello everyone. Welcome to Parrish's Pizzeria on North 2nd Street in Vincennes for the Coach Shaun Soderling Show. Coach Soderling back with a little hardware from the Hoosier Cup.
Brought a little gift for the town of Vincennes here. Nice little Hoosier Cup trophy, champions.
We'll get to talking about that here in a little bit. Talking about the upcoming schedule as well. But first thing I want to talk about, the North Knox game that took place earlier in the week. In fact, Monday night at North Knox. Big rebound from that Washington game.
Oh, big game. That's something that we talked about on the last show, is that we wanted to come back out with lots of fire, and I think for those who watched the game or that were there saw that that's exactly what we did.
Of course, if you didn't go to that game, it was a 12-0 victory against the Warriors, and there were a couple of new records set that night. Most goals in a game as a team with 12. And the individual record, Eric Ramirez had 5.
Yes, big game out of Eric, big game out of everyone that was involved.
And this one's going to sound ironic, maybe a little weird. But back in 2007, when they set the record against Mount Carmel with 11, goal number 11 came off the foot of then goalie Jordan Bushnell. Goal number 12 Monday night came off of current Lincoln goalie Cameron Sandy.
Maybe it was something in the clouds, or the moon was out or something.
I just thought I'd have to bring that one up.
I think it's fitting, like I said, on the postgame show, is a lot of people forget that Sandy also is a part-time striker when needed, and it's a big threat for us that if we pull him out of the goal and put him up top, there's a pretty good chance he's going to score.
Of course, big weekend at Hoosier Cup this weekend. We'll get to talking about that here in just a moment. First off, while you're on AliceSoccer.com, don't forget to sign up for your chance to be the Parrish's Pizzeria Alice Soccer Fan of Game. There's no purchase necessary. Just go to the contest page at AliceSoccer.com and register for your chance to win. When we get back, we're going to talk Hoosier Cup. We're going to even talk about the upcoming schedule in Vincennes Lincoln Soccer. You're watching the Coach Shaun Soderling Show at AliceSoccer.com. Home of the best breadsticks in town. Giant hand-breaded tenderloins. Parrish's Pizzeria is a great place for eat, whether it's just yourself or the family. Right now at Parrish's, register for your chance to win Chicago Fire tickets and catch tapings each week of the Coach Shaun Soderling Show. Parrish's Pizzeria. Call 882-7700 for delivery. Back here at Parrish's Pizzeria on North 2nd Street in Vincennes. Hoosier Cup. Well, the cup's right next to me and right next to its new best friend, the Coach Shaun Soderling.
Looked pretty good on the walkway when you walk into my house, but it's going to be making its way to Lincoln High School.
We'll be at the pitch making a visit when Jasper comes to town.
No, we're not going to be like that. It's going to go into school for everybody in the building to see, because we're proud of it, and we told the school that we were going to bring it back to them, and we're going to make good on that promise.
Well, of course, as I just mentioned, you won your pool at the Hoosier Cup. Defeated Martinsville 8-0. Eric Ramirez had 4 goals in that game. Colin Richardville had 2. Elliot Hudson and Cameron Claycomb each had a goal for the Owls in that game. Big shutout against a bigger school, I thought.
Yeah, Martinsville is down a little bit. I talked to their coach for a little while after the game and said, their program's not where it's been in the past. It's unfortunate, that the score got the way it was, but, it's a testament to our guys as they were focused for 3 games. They wanted to make a statement. Show that the game against North Knox wasn't a fluke either. We can put in a lot of goals. And, we wanted to make sure that we made some noise at the tournament and people started taking notice. And it was kind of a good scene. Once we got done, we noticed that there were a lot more people wearing different colors than the teams that were playing on the field watching our game. So I think we kind of made our point across that, hey, we were there and we were coming for this trophy.
Saturday morning, you guys defeated Evansville Central 9-1. Back in that game, Eric Ramirez and Kyle Richardville each had 3 goals apiece. Cameron Clayco had 2 goals, and Trent Price also scored. You guys beat them earlier in the season 10-3. Another one of those runaway games against Central.
Oh, yeah, we came out from the get-go. Our plan the whole weekend was the first 15 minutes we had to give teams everything that we've got. And we had to score first, and we had to score often. And that's the thing that we looked at. In the Martinsville game, we had the kickoff, and we literally almost scored right off the kickoff. It was a nice little thing between Eric, Kyle, and Cameron, just taking the ball straight down the field, and we barely missed. We did the same thing against Evansville Central. Almost scored very, very early within the first minute of the game. We possessed the ball a little bit better. Of course, at that time, even though it was a morning game, it was hotter than crap, and it was going to get a lot hotter later in the afternoon. So our purpose of the Central game, going into it, once we defeated Martinsville, we knew that Richmond was going to be the game that we had to make sure we were good in. We were missing Austin Leonard during the Evansville Central game because he took a knock during the Martinsville game the night before. And our objective was we wanted to get up early, and we wanted to rest everybody because we took enough guys on the bench that we could get a lot of guys a lot of rest that they needed. So our guys did what we needed to do, got up early, we got a lot of guys in, got them some minutes, and let a lot of our starters just get some relaxed time for the evening game.
And of course, you mentioned earlier it was a hot day. In fact,
hot as crap is what I said.
Yeah. It officially in Vincent, the reading was triple digits, 101 degrees according to the weather.
We had at the field, they were informing us it was 102. We had to, during each game at 20 minutes into the halves, they made us stop to do water breaks and get some wet towels. And I have to give a lot of credit to our parents. They made sure we were all hydrated, brought us tons and tons and tons of water. They made sure we had a lot of ice-cold wet towels that we kept in another cooler. We had a tent and everything, so I have to give a big thanks to the parents who helped us out.
Yeah, it's got to be a big thing. And then you had an afternoon game as well. In fact, you defeated Richmond 6-0. Cameron Claycomb and Eric Ramirez had 2 goals apiece in that game. Elliot Hudson and Colin Richardville also scored. And that game was probably hotter than the morning cap. It's hard to plan against a Richmond team when you normally don't see them on a normal basis when they're on the other side of the state.
Yeah, and actually during that game was when the storm was about to come through because the actual games after us all got delayed because I guess they had a real bad storm that had went through. So the weather started changing during this game. It did start off hot as crap again. And you could tell because we were at halftime, it was a 2-0 lead for us. We could tell our guys were kind of drained. You could tell that they had played 2 previous games with the weather the way that it was, and we knew that our thing during halftime was all the conditioning that we did all mattered these last 40 minutes in the second half of that game. We didn't want this Richmond team taking a trophy from us, and we went into it with a lot of respect for them because if you look at their schedule, games they've lost were against very, very good teams. Games that they've won have been against quality teams as well. So it was really hard to get a read on how good they were going to be. I thought they did very well. They had a very, very tall player as a target player. If you could mix Cameron Claycomb's height with Cameron Sandy's width, that's what we had to go up against. And we did a really good job trying to make sure he didn't do too much to us, but as tall as he was, it was very, very hard for us. But like I said, the whole second half, our thing was all that conditioning we've done was meant for situations like that where we had already played, 160 minutes. We had to play another 80 minutes. And, at halftime, I'm not going to lie, a lot of guys were groaning and crying, oh, my head hurts or my stomach hurts, my leg hurts. And I told them all, 40 minutes is all you got to play. 40 minutes, use everything you got in your tank, and we're going to come out on top. And we came out guns blazing in the second half and, put a lot more goals in. And it was kind of like I said, the weather was changing. All of a sudden, our play started changing. We started playing fairly well in the second half and came out on top.
And one thing at the Hoosier Cup, Eric Ramirez, before the Hoosier Cup, had 9 goals. He had 5 against North Knox on Monday night, and then opening night against Evansville Central had 4. He doubled his goal output during the Hoosier Cup.
That was something that we don't really keep track of. I mean, we keep track of our stats, but we don't really read into a lot of them. And I'm not going to lie, we kind of are keeping our eye on the websites, seeing who's got what we need to do to get guys to a certain point. We're kind of like a lot of professional teams. We got the team goal that we want to get to, but once we know that we've got the team goal, we'll start helping some guys get the personal achievements. And we know that Eric wants to be one of the top scorers in the state. We know that Kyle wants to be one of the top assist guys in the state. And once we got done with all of our games, we went back and checked, okay, Eric's got to get this many more points between goals and assists. We know Kyle's got to get this many assists to get moved up. And at the end of the weekend, we were kind of excited because the last result we had Eric as the 4th leading scorer in the state. Overall, between points, you get 2 points for a goal, 1 point for assist. He was number 5, I believe, as well in overall points. And Kyle was number 1 in the state with assists. So, like I said, we got our team goals accomplished, and then once we knew we got the team goal, we started letting the guys get the personal achievements. And we know that Eric has a very good chance to set a lot of goals this year, get a lot of records, and we know that Kyle can do the same thing. So we want to make sure that once we get the team stuff aside, we're going to help those guys get where they need to be.
And one more thing, too. Both Ramirez and Richardsville, if I remember right, are only juniors.
Yes, they are both only juniors. But I think, as much as they had as well, I think also that Elliot Hudson had a fantastic weekend. He scoring 2 goals in his very first game and then coming out and scoring all the goals that he did in the weekend. He had a coming out party, so to say. Cameron Claycomb's been on a tear literally since after the Washington game. Something lit him a fire during the North Knox game, and Cameron's been on fire since then. So it's good that we do have Ramirez and Richardville kind of in the headlines, but I think a lot of people forget that there's a lot of other guys that are doing the scoring as well. You look at all of our goals this year, I think we have maybe 4 that weren't assisted. And I think that speaks volumes for our system and the way that we play. So, there's a lot of guys, I think that by the end of season, when we get our season review done, we're going to have a lot of guys in double-digit figures, and that's a good thing for this program.
Okay, I'm going to bring this one up, too, because this kind of coincides with Ramirez. Before Hoosier Cup, the Alices had a total of 22 goals. They had 10 on the board against Evansville Central and 12 against North Knox. In the Hoosier Cup, you guys had 23 goals, making it double plus 1 at 45 goals just through 6 games, averaging 7.5 goals a game.
Goals win games?
Yeah. Just a bit.
I think going into the season, I think we knew we were going to be an attacking team, but I don't think the guys really knew how good of an attacking team they were going to be. And that's been one of my big pushes since I've been here is attacking. This team's always been well at possessing, but they've never been that, go for the throat kind of attacking team. And, when you've got 45 goals, that shows the side of an attacking team. Also on top of that, the last time we checked, we are currently number 3 in the state overall points between goals and assists. We're just right behind number 1, who is Evansville North. And we know that that's something that we want to go for is the overall points. So we've got some more assists to get, and we got plenty more games left, and I hope that the scoring doesn't stop. I'm a big person of if a team wins 6-0 in one game, we don't want them to waste all their goals in that game. But so far, I'm more excited the fact that we've only given up 9 goals so far this year. But to the fact that we've put up 45 already, that we're outscoring our opponents, I think says a lot for our guys. But on top of that, it says a lot for our defense as well.
Well, when we get back, we're going to talk about the upcoming schedule, including the big Jasper game that is coming up next here on AlisSoccer.com. But while I'm talking about Parrish's Pizzeria, you only have a few days left for your chance to win Chicago Fire tickets. Stop by Parrish's Pizzeria on North 2nd Street in Vincennes. Drop your name off in the box along with your address and information. And then if you get drawn, you do win a pair of Chicago Fire tickets for their game September 25th against the New England Revolution at Toyota Field. See the full contest rules at the partner site of AliceSoccer.com. That's DJSSports.com. It's on the contest page there. When we get back, we're going through the upcoming schedule. This is AliceSoccer.com's Coach Shaun Soderling Show.
The new Max 96.7, 70s, 80s, playing everything. The new Max 96.7. You never know what you're going to hear next. Max 96.7. Maximum variety. Max 96.7. 70s, 80s, playing everything. Max knows music. The all-new Max 96.7.
And we're back here at Parrish's Pizzeria on North 2nd Street in Vincennes for the final segment of the Coach Shaun Soderling Show. Jasper coming up next here on AliceSoccer.com, playing the Alices tonight. Of course, let's talk about that Jasper matchup.
Jasper's got a lot of good guys returning. That's something that we had been looking at last year. We did a very, very good job against them for about 60 minutes of the 80 minutes game. It was the 10 minutes right before half and the 10 minutes right after half that I wish I could take back. But we know we got to see him during team camp this summer. We know what they've got. We know what we need to mark up on. They came and scouted us during the Hoosier Cup and saw what kind of firepower we got. We watched them during the Hoosier Cup as well. We know what we've got to defend. We know what we got to really watch for. And the thing that was bad, being Labor Day, I guess people say I'm a hardcore coach, but I'm not that hardcore. Gave the guys a day off because they needed it because they played 3 games in 2 days. So this rest is really, really needed for us. But we're going to come out on fire, and we know what the Jasper-Lincoln rivalry means to this town. And I think that, the great crowd that we had for the Washington game, I expect probably a bigger crowd for this Jasper game as well. And it's a conference opponent for us. It's a rivalry game, and we know that we've got to come out and be blazing glory all the way through for 80 minutes and hopefully come out on top.
Looked like before the Hoosier Cup, Jasper was having a bit of a down year in a way.
I don't know if I call it a down year. Like I said, they've returned a lot of guys. They've got a pair of twins that anchor their defense that are really they're both big studs. They've got an excellent central midfielder as well as a target player as well. So those are things that we've got to make sure that we look out for and we take care of it. And while we're taking care of that, put the ball in the back of the net more than they do. What's
the theme for the Jasper game?
I think this is going to be the one where they do the dress like Soderling night. I don't know. That's not my doing. I guess you'll have to check out with the fan page. Maybe they'll say something on there. But I'm not in charge of the themes. I just have them tell me before the game so I can make sure it's clean and appropriate. We don't want anything bad and whatnot. But I almost said they couldn't do the dress like Soderling night. But I mean, if it means people are going to be out there in ties, then why not dress up for a soccer game,
Oh, well, you can go get a tie for like a bucket Goodwill, too.
Yeah, I'm a fan of cheap ties. So I'm sure, like I said on the last show, all the grandfathers and dads or uncles will be excited about people asking for ties to wear them and whatnot. So it'll be, it's going to be fun, even if there's not a theme, we're still going to go out there and try to put on a show for the crowd.
Other games going on at the Alice pitch this week. Thursday, the Lady Alices will be, actually that's Wednesday night. The Lady Alices will be hosting Washington Catholic. That will stream down Thursday night on AliceSoccer.com at 6. Thursday night at the pitch, the Clark Middle School soccer team will be hosting Southridge in a doubleheader.
They're on a roll right now.
Yeah,
Clark Middle School.
I heard that the other day.
I don't know who orchestrated it, but they are on a roll, and I like it. It says a lot of good things about the future and what they're doing right now.
And, of course, Chris Muhammad coaching the JV team. I believe Kathy Jones doing the girls team. It's Chris coaching the guys team, by the way. Then Saturday afternoon, noon kickoff between the Alices and Gibson Southern.
Gibson Southern currently number 2 in the state in Class 1A.
I should tell you right there, it's going to be a great matchup. Better get there early because they're high up on the rankings according to HoosierFootball.com.
We were their first defeat last year. That's a big game for me. I like playing against Southern. I've always liked playing against them, even when I was young. It's always been just kind of a chip on my shoulder type game. You know, that's something that we look at is they're number 2 in the state in their class, but we were their first defeat last year. You know, we know that we can play well with them, and I think it just speaks volume for our guys that, you know, we can compete with the top teams in the state.
Let's talk about Gibson Southern for a minute. Who are their best players that you think of?
Well, they're returning all 11 starters, for one. I know they only lost 2 or 3 guys last year. They do return their top scorer. You know, those are things that we got to look out for. The difference between playing us and teams that they play is we're a lot more tactically and technical sound than a lot of teams that they'll play, especially this early in the season. You know, by no means am I saying that we're going to be a pushover or they're going to be a pushover, but I think we're going to be one of their first true tests that they're going to face. And you know, if they're undefeated at the time and they come in and we can get the job done and we can stop their undefeated streak again, then we're going to be happy about that. But definitely with them being the number 2 team in the state currently, you know, that's a big thing. We definitely want everybody's support out, and hopefully us beating the number 2 team in the state should say something about maybe we should be in the top 25. But we're hoping that when the results come out today, that after our performance at Hoosier Cup, we'll be in the top 25. We can beat the number 2 team in the state. We beat Jasper. Hopefully we'll be higher up.
Hope so too. Again, I'm going to recap the schedule. Of course, the men taking on Jasper. That's actually getting ready to stream down here in just a few minutes on AliceSoccer.com. Tomorrow night, streaming at AliceSoccer.com. The Lady Alice is taking on Washington Catholic. Thursday, Clark will take on Southridge in a boy-girl Clark Middle School soccer doubleheader. And then on Saturday afternoon, the guys will be taking on Gibson Southern. The Lincoln Alices start at 12 noon. That will stream Sunday afternoon at 3:30 following the next installment of the Coach Shaun Soderling Show. Coach, any last thoughts?
Just excited. You know, I definitely want to thank Parrish's Pizzeria and all the sponsors involved for all this, and I hope that everybody keeps watching the show. I've had a couple people tell me that they like to pop up some popcorn and watch the old coach's show. Kind of excites me to know that, you know, people are kind of keeping in tune. I know that at least my mom is watching. Hey, Mom. But you know, I love this show. I know the guys like it. The school likes it. And hopefully we keep giving everybody what they want, give them some more wins, and give this town something to be proud about.
While you're popping up that popcorn at home, eat Parrish's Pizza and Ryan while you're eating.
Popcorn and pizza.
Yeah, that
what
works.
A great combo.
Hey, that works. While you're getting that popcorn popped, you can call Parrish's Pizzeria, 882-7700. They've got something new this fall. It's called the Trailblazer Special. Of course, they're located virtually across the campus from Vincennes University. They have a Trailblazer Special. You can get 1 or 2 toppings. It's relatively affordable, and it's not bad. It's really good. Who knows, I might have to bring it out next week.
I'm still partial to the pepperoni sticks and breadsticks.
You know, normally I'm partial to the sausage sticks. Yeah. Well, until next time we meet, for the Coach Shaun Soderling, I'm Dustin Fuller, saying thank you for tuning in to the Coach Shaun Soderling Show on AliceSoccer.com. The Jasper Wildcats and Vincennes Lincoln Alices come up next.